What's up, folks? We're back again for another exciting episode of Agent Wynn Outdoors. So good to be back. It's been a minute. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And today what I have for you is just an adventure and a tournament that I had with the Chesapeake Reel Masters, which is a brand new tournament trail series that my partner and I started last year. And we had a great time, great season, and this was a tournament that was on June 15th on Father's Day. And it's one that I'll never forget because it was a great day of fishing. Yeah, so this day started out just like any other tournament. Got the boat in water, and right off the bat, I had an issue with my motor. I have a Motorguide XI3, and the motor is fine. Everything is great there. But sometimes, and this is new, the battery inside the remote just dies. I don't care if you put a fresh pack of batteries in there. You will get one tournament out of it, and that's it. The next tournament, this is the second time it happened to me. You get in the water and the battery's dead. It's not communicating with the motor. So I don't know what's going on. But this off season, I did order a new remote because I also heard that Motorguide was going out of business, or they got bought out by somebody, so I got me an extra remote just in case. But this is pretty interesting right here because I'm on a 2-foot flat with grass, and this boat comes cruising in. I just left the marina, so where he's cutting in at, there's like 1 foot of water, and I'm just looking at him like, where is he going? And what he did was he pulled right up to the ramp and started fishing the ramp, which is wild. I fished here forever. I've never seen a bass boat do that before. But that was interesting. So I'm out here on the water. I have no remote. Battery, I didn't have any backup batteries to put into my remote. And I'm in the same spot. I'm moving along very slowly, barely left the ramp. And I think there was a bass boat tournament going on today because it happened again. And when you're out here on a kayak, you got to keep your head on a swivel because these bass boats, they come, you can hear them most of the time, but they come at you so fast, like this guy. Now that was just ignorant. I mean, I'm casting, fishing this area, and this guy just cuts right across. No regard, doesn't give a damn. Just bush league, right? But what can you do? So I have to make a decision at this point. I was going to stay close. I wasn't going to go out on the big water because I didn't have my remote. I had foot steering, but I couldn't control the power for the motor. Luckily, I invested in a NEMA 2000 wire kit, and the Motorguide talks directly with my lowrance TI9, and I can control the motor through the screen on my lowrance unit. So imagine I'm steering my kayak using the screen on the lowrance unit. And that was the first time I ever had to do that, so it was interesting. I'm taking my time, I'm going slow, but I did get out there into deep water where I really wanted to go. I wanted to go 4 miles out, but this is probably about a half a mile. And this is a good stretch because it has a drop off. It has a lot of grass. But more importantly, it has the right kind of grass with the drop off. So, and the wind was going today, which made it even better. So I was really super excited to get out here and fish. And as you can tell, it didn't take me long to get into them. They were biting. Now this was an outgoing tide all day. So it's high tide right now, but it's going out. It's just starting to go out, and that's the best tide to be on if you're out here fishing on any kind of tidal body of water, the Potomac, Upper Chesapeake Bay. Outgoing tide and the first hour or so of incoming are the best times. Yeah, so this is the first catch of the day. Trying to get things started. I'm throwing a Jackhammer, half ounce. Actually, I think it's a 3/8, even though I do prefer the half ounce. But I believe this is a 3/8 ounce Jackhammer, black and blue. And the trailer on the back, I want to say I only throw 2 trailers. It's either the O-Line Baits Demon Minnow, or it's the Rapala Crush City Craw, which is just a perfect trailer for the Jackhammer. The technique that I'm using is just basically ripping it through the grass, real till it gets kind of hung, and then I rip it. And usually when you rip it, that's when you get bit. As you can see, just caught another one, and the bite is pretty good. It's a falling tide once again. The waves, the wind is blowing pretty good. The bite is pretty good. I wasn't out here long and I had 2 fish. So that's an encouraging sign that maybe I don't have to move around that much, which is good because I don't have the remote for my trolling motor. So right now I just have it on spot lock. And I just found a little area that has a shelf on top, and then there's a depression. I'm kind of sitting in the deeper water, 5 to 6 feet. I tend to find the bigger ones in the deeper water off the drop-offs. It just depends on how they're positioned. And I'm throwing up on the shelf, and I'm reeling it back into the deep water where the ditches are, where the break is. And that's how I'm getting bit. And the first 2 fish clued me in on that. The other thing is, when you get out there, is try to figure out which way the grass is lying. So I'm sort of facing north in this view right here, and that's Tidings Marina in front of me. And the tide is coming straight at me because it's going out. So I'm basically throwing into the tides that's coming at me, and I'm reeling it back. But I'm doing it with, and there's another one I just caught, and I'm doing it with throwing it up on the shelf where the grass flat is, and then just reeling it right into the ditch where the deeper water is, and that's how I'm getting bit. That's the 3rd fish of the day. Nothing really to write home about, but in kayak fishing, if you're not on 0 and you're moving up, you're moving in the right direction. I'll take the 12s and the 15s and the 14s and the 13s, because I know eventually the big ones will come. Another standard little 12, maybe probably about a 14-incher. And the bite is good. I came out here, I couldn't have timed it any better. Again, I got the Jackhammer on. I have a crankbait rod. I think it's a Wright Mcgill crankbait rod. Sort of a heavier rod, but it has that parabolic bend to it that I like when I'm throwing the Chatterbait. The line that I'm using, I believe, I only use Seagar. Not the mono, but the gosh, what's the other one? That is I think that's a perch. But I usually use 17 to 20 pound test. That's pretty much all you need. If you go lighter than that, then you run the risk of, when you cast like I just did, eventually that knot gets weak and it just snaps off because the lure just weighs too much for the line, the light line that you're using. And And the reel that I have, and this is another key, another catch here. Another decent fish. I think this is 4 now. So I'm getting pretty close to a limit. So I'm feeling pretty excited. Even though it's a small limit, it's a limit. And you always want to get a limit if you're ever going to have a chance of winning. But the reel that I'm using is key. This is a 5-to-5 reel. That's a nice one there. That's a nice jump. It's a 5-to-5 reel. It's a Diawa Tatula. And I don't know if you know anything about Diawa Tatulas. It's the older versions of the Diawa Tatula. It's a bit heavy. Some people don't like it. I really don't care. I grew up walking around with a weed whacker doing lawn maintenance, so you know a heavier reel doesn't bother me much. There's another small fish. That log that's out in front of me, whenever you're on the upper bay and you see isolated cover, you have to fish it. I don't care if it's like a pole out in the middle of nowhere. You have to fish it. There's usually 1 or 2 bites waiting for you on the other side. So I kind of snuck up on this one and got there before the boater did. Still doing the same thing. Going to the north. This is a good one here. This is probably one of the better ones out of the day. Really good one. You can tell it's good because I got my net. Yeah, that's a good one. Now I'm thinking, man, this is going to put me up at the top of the leaderboard. Now I'm going to have to start culling. And those 12 inches are going to start coming off if I keep catching this class of fish. So I'm feeling really good at this point about my chances. And I'm looking at Tourney X and I'm checking out. Yeah, that's a fat one. I'm looking at the other anglers, and it wasn't a big field, but I see that a lot of guys are struggling. A lot of the guys don't have a lot of experience on the upper bay. They're coming up here for maybe the first or second time. And the upper bay can be pretty intimidating. There's a lot of water, as you can see. It's like, what do you fish? Where do you go? Why am I even fishing out in this open water? I need to be on the bank. And one of the best places you can be is out in open water, in my opinion, with some grass. The right kind of grass. Yeah, that's a really good one. Some pictures, giving it a little bit of water. But those are the type of fish that you can catch out there on the upper bay. And trust me, there's bigger ones out there. But these are the ones that I'm used to catching. I've fished a lot of bass boat tournaments out here on the upper bay. So I have a lot of experience to draw off of. I'm not saying I'm an expert by nobody's opinion, but I've seen enough to know enough what to do in certain situations. I've been skunked enough out here to know what not to do, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, right here I think I'm still throwing the black and blue chatterbait. You can look at this water, it is clear as all get out. But black and blue is still working. For some reason, I don't have a lot of luck with green pumpkin out here. It's either 2 colors. It's either black and blue, it's either red, or it's white. That's what I seem to have the most. Yeah, I'm checking the depth, making sure I'm still in about 6 to 7 feet of water. I have a 7-foot rod, so just wanted to make, look at that. Another nice one. Look at this thing jump. This is one of my favorite catches out the year. That's a nice one. And people say all the time, how do you stand up so quickly in your boat with the waves and the wind and everything? How do you have the confidence to just stand up like that? And it's pretty easy. Nucanoe. They make a stable kayak. It's one of the most stable kayaks you can buy. And look at that beauty. So yeah, I'm definitely calling at this point. I'm getting rid of the 12 inches and the 13 inches, and I'm moving right on up the leaderboard. This is just an outstanding day of fishing already. And it's still early. Tide's still going out. That's a good fish. That's what you call winning fish right there. If you got a bag of those, if you got 5 of those are winning fish. At least you're going to be in the money. And that's why I love the upper bay. Because when you get out on the flats, I'm not even out on the flat, the main part of the flats. I'm just on the backside near the shore. The backside channel south of Havre Grace. Or Tidings Marina, or Park, I think they call it. That's where I launched from. Look at this, another one. Looks like a small one by the way I'm reeling. Yep, small one's not gonna help, but they're still biting. And these fish gave me no reason to leave this area. And I was so thankful because I didn't have my remote. So I just wanted to find an area where I can just kind of spot lock or put it on route where I can just cruise at a low speed at a straight line. If I saw a drop off or a channel, I would just parallel the channel. But these fish were biting so good. I mean, they're biting at the boat now. So that's telling me I'm right in the sweet spot. There's no reason to move. There's another good one. That's 3 good ones now. So that's another call to get rid of some of the earlier smaller ones I caught. You might be asking, why does he have this orange hat on? This crazy looking visibility. As you saw earlier in this video, these bass boats, they act like they're blind. They'll come right by you on plane. So I have my orange flag. I have my orange hat. I have my white shirt. The more visibility, the better, especially when you're out there in open water. That's another nice one. Get some good picks. About to release them into the water. I mean, at this point, this is just an embarrassment of riches. I'm catching fish left and right. I came out here late. I didn't get on the water till about 8. After I fixed all my problems, I even showed up late. But I got on the water. I got out on the water even later with the problems I had with my remote. So I'm coming to the party late. But somehow I find myself right in the middle of the sweet spot where all the fish are. And that's how fishing is. You can fish all day and not get a bite, but just be in the wrong areas. And then you can fish for a small period of time and catch all the fish. Okay, I don't know if this fish is gonna help, but it's still good to get a bite. That's always an indicator that there's fish in the area. So I'm not leaving. I'm still in the same area. There's boats coming and going, bass boats. But I'm still out here catching. You can see some grass on my bait there. You know, when the grass is thick, I do like the craw style baits on the back of the Jackhammer because it tends to let the bait flutter in the water column, keeps it up a little bit higher when you snatch it instead of it just dropping like a rock sometimes with different trailers on there. But the Rapala Crush City Craw, excellent bait. Used it for the first time this year, and I immediately got bit with them. I'm not sponsored by Rapala, but I just love their bait. And here's another one. I mean, some of the best days of fishing are when you just got one bait in your hand, one rod, and that's all you need. And this is a small one, so it's probably not going to help, but it's still fun to catch them. So I'm just milking this area for all it's worth. Trying to find one more big one before it's time to go in, and boom. When you see me stand up, that means it's a good one, because I'm trying to get leverage, and I don't want it to go. I don't want it to get off. And this is another good one. This is the third good one for the day, and these are the fish that win you tournaments. Look at that one. That's what's out here in the Upper Bay. They're everywhere. And this is June. The spawn is over. Yeah, so I had a great day. I'm feeling pretty good. I was not trying to win this tournament. I was just coming out here to fish because I love the Upper Bay. And I ran into my buddy Mark Nelson on the way back. And you can see the grass. That's how shallow the water is right here. Tide is all the way out. And if you remember the beginning of the video, that boat, the two boats that cut me off, they cut me off. See that green kayak in the distance? I was right there when they cut me off. So it was kind of crazy how close they came in the shore and how shallow it is right there. I don't even know if they knew how shallow it was, but it was incredibly stupid. This is me coming back. This is Mark and I actually coming back to Tidings Boat Ramp and Marina. It's a great park, by the way, if you just come down here with the family. Walk around. They have a lighthouse. They have a great little eatery at the end of the pier. Nice little spot. Big playground and barbecue area. It's a nice chill park with 360 panoramic views. It kind of sits on a peninsula. But this boat ramp is pretty crazy. So it's one of those deals where you got to get in and get out. Like, you can't really play around here because there's always somebody coming looking to launch their boat or take their boat out. So got to be mindful of that at all times. I kind of hem Mark in right there. So I'm going to take this Wilderness Systems kayak cart, which it was worth every penny. It was expensive, but it was worth every penny. Because if you want to get your boat in and out of the water almost fully loaded quickly, this cart is the way to go. You know, I car top my kayak, so you know I'm not gonna back my truck down to the water and put it on the trailer. I don't have any, I don't have a trailer at home. So this is a pretty efficient way to do it. And this car, I didn't strap the kayak in or anything. It's just gravity. Getting out of Mark's way so he can do his deal. But today was a great day. It was a great Father's Day. It was a Father's Day that I'll never forget. Just had some great catches, a great day of fishing. Ended up first with 87 inches, which is crazy. I had big fish of the tournament. I think it was 20 and a quarter. I mean, I was just on fire today. And have almost 90 inches out here is pretty good. 20.25 right there. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe and like this channel. Thanks for watching. You can check us out on the Chesapeake Reel Masters podcast. We also have a YouTube channel. Whole Baits, thank you. Baits, thank you for your sponsorship. Big Bass USA, if you look for a kayak, great place to go.